Hey there, CJ Math students. You're on page 443 in your packet. Number 1 says the total simple interest owed on a loan of $8,000 after 60 months is $1,280. What is the yearly interest rate on the loan? So remember, they gave you this formula a while back that was your interest was equal to your principal, the amount that you loaned, times your rate, times your time, meaning that your time was in years. So they told you that the total simple interest is 1,280. They said that the loan or your principal was 8,000. You don't know your rate, and you know it was for 60 months. And this little help over here says there are 12 months in a year, so 60 divided by 12 is equal to 5 years. Right? So you know everything but R. So let's go ahead and start solving. So 1,280 is equal to 40,000, because that's what 8,000 times 5 is. 40,000 R. And now you just have a one-step equation where 40,000 times some rate will give you 1,280. You just have to divide both sides by 40,000 to isolate R. These cancel off because they just equal 1. And R is equal to whatever 1,280 divided by 40,000 is. And it gives you 0.032. Now remember, your percentage needs to be, your rate needs to be a percentage. So we have a decimal here. To change it into a percent, you swoop it 2 times to the right, 1, 2. So you can get rid of these zeros, and your interest rate was 3.2%. Turn to page 444, number 2. The owner of a store buys wooden benches for $50 each. She marks up the price by 75%, meaning she is going to charge 100 plus 75, or 175% of the price. At the end of the season, she sells the remaining benches for 30% off, meaning she's going to then price them at 70% of the price. How much profit does the owner make on each bench at the end of the season? So let's start off by how much does she sell them at the start of the season? So that would just be the 75% markup, which we know is 1.75, since it was 175%, times 50. So at the start of the season, 1.75 times 50 gives us, she's selling that for $87.50. And then she goes ahead and says, I'm going to go ahead and offer a discount at the end of the year. So I'm going to take this price, $87.50, and now I'm going to charge people 70% of that price because it's a 30% off discount. So times 0.70. So that means at the end of the season, she is charging $61.25. Profit is whatever money something sells for minus whatever it cost. So $61.25. The original cost of the bench was $50 minus 50. So on each bench, she makes $11.25 profit for selling those benches at those prices. Okay, skip to page 445 and number 6. So Jade wants to spend less than $22, meaning she can't go more than $22 on a board game. Which of the following prices are in Jade's budget? So 15% off 25, that's 0.85, right? Because 100 minus 15. So that is 0.85 times 25. That gives you $21.25. She can do that because that's less than 22. The next one is 30% off 32. So that's 0.70 times 32. That gets you 22.4. Nope, can't do that. That's more than $22. $19.50 plus a 15% shipping fee. Well, plus a 15% shipping fee would be 100 plus 15, or 115%, which is really 1.15 times 1950. That gives you 22.425. So again, nope, can't do that. 2045 plus a 5% shipping fee. 5% shipping fee would be 100 plus 5, or 105%. As a decimal, 1.05 times 20.45. That equals $21.47.25. Yep, that works. That's less than 22, so that works. 15% off 25 plus a 5% shipping fee. So first we're saying 0.85, which we already know works because we did it on the first one. So 0.85 times 25, which was 21.25. So it looks like it works, but plus an additional 5% shipping fee. That's 100 plus 5 equals 105%. So now you got to take this number and do 1.05 times 21.25. Let's see what we get. That equals 22.31. Nope, that's too much money. And a 30% off discount of 32 plus an additional 5%. So 30% off discount is 70%. So 0.70 times 32, which is 22.4. So we're like, hey, that doesn't work. But then it says, and an additional 5% off. An additional 5% off would be 100 minus 5, which is 0.95. So then take this 0.95 times 22.4. And that gets you 21.28, which is less than 22. So F is your answer. Move on to page 446 and skip to number 7. Deposit $680 into an account that pays 3.5% yearly interest, simple interest. She neither adds money nor withdraws any money. How much will it pay in Ann's account after 6 years? So your interest is equal to your principal times your rate times your time. So interest is equal to what you put in, 680, times your rate as a decimal. So we got to go 1, 2. So 0.035 times the amount of years times 6. And this is just going to give our interest, right? How much she's earned, not how much is in the account. So 680 times 0.035 times 6 gets you 142.80. That's awesome. She earned all that money. Now to figure out how much is in her account, take this money and add it to what was originally in her account, which was the $680. And that will tell you how much is in her account right now. $822.80. Number 8, a store has a sale. Customers can buy one item at full price and take 50% off the cost of the item with a lesser price. Nakia buys one item with $80, another item with $120. With sale, what percent discount does Nakia receive on her total purchase? So first of all, how much does she normally pay? Normal, without any sales, would have been $120 plus 80, which would have been $200 normally. But now, going with the store, she can buy 2 items, and the one with the lesser price, so the $80 one, she can take 50% off. So the sale is now $120 plus not 80, but 50%, or half of 80, which is 40, which equals $160. And so now to figure out what percent discount she received, let's divide and say, okay, she normally would have paid... the sale would have been 160 over 200. This is 0.80. So she didn't receive an 80% discount. No. She paid 80% of the total price. So therefore, 100 minus 80, she got a 20% discount. 20% discount for everything. All right. You got an exit ticket. Is 180% of 2 greater, less than, or equal to 1.08% of 100. So you're basically just saying 108% times 2, or 1.08 times 2. See what that is. And then 1.08% of 200, 1.08% times 200. Again, got to change this to a decimal one, 2.0108 times 200. See which one is greater than, less than, or equal to each other.